good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV. I think this is very appropriate. This very first day of June, it's a time when people reflect because almost half the year is gone and people are trying to find out, how far have they gone with their New Year's resolutions? Are they almost attaining them? And joining me is a wonderful gentleman, an amazing guy, Dr. Derrick Samuels, the president of the Derrick Samuels Leadership Institute.
Correct.
A very good morning to you, sir.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I am really honored. Every time there are some people you meet and you're like, yeah, this person has had an impact on my life. And I'm sure you're going to impact so many people this morning as we talk about changing our mindsets, moving from stagnation. You say you are a voice against stagnation,
yes,
a surgeon for self-development. Tell us a little about your story. You are actually a mechanical engineer.
Yes.
And how did you find yourself doing what you're doing now, heading a leadership institute, being a motivational speaker, a mentor, a coach? How did you find that?
It's very important for me to emphasize that life, don't have a life that is so strict. You must be flexible because sometimes life doesn't go the way you want to go, or the way you have proposed that it should go. That's the reason why a true leader, as somebody or an entrepreneur, is one who is flexible to be able to see what is there that he or she can do. So how do I move from mechanical engineering to what I'm doing right now as leadership expert? Now, back home in Nigeria when I was born years ago, my heart was to be a pilot. But because that couldn't happen, what happened? When I finished mechanical engineering, I see there was no job. So what do? I started looking for places to teach. I started looking for places to work. And I got to a point where I said, it's like I don't have the practical knowledge of this mechanical engineering. Why don't I go into something that would be more meaningful to me? That's how I got into, leadership, human resource, empowering people, about humanity.
Okay. You seem to be the kind of person who believes the very best.
Correct.
Of everyone.
Correct.
Can anyone be a leader? Can anyone be an entrepreneur?
Yes. The reason I say yes, we are all born to be leaders. But much more is we are made to be leaders. So where the people fall behind is that yes, they are born to be leaders, but they are not developing themselves personally to a point where they can become the leaders that should be what is in them or reflecting what is in them. So it's important for people to understand, we're all born leaders, but you have to be made a leader. Are we all entrepreneurs? Yes. Why? Because there is something in you that you're yearning for the best. Whether you work for an organization, whether you're working for yourself, or you're aspiring to work for yourself, there is something in you that want to be creative. That makes you an entrepreneur.
Are you sure? Some people are just comfortable working, doing their 9-to-5 job, 8-to-5 in Uganda, actually, and possibly don't have much aspiration.
Now, people who work in an organization, we call them intrapreneur. So they are doing something inside that organization. So in them is trap entrepreneur.
In them is trap entrepreneur. If everyone becomes a leader,
yes,
who will they lead?
Very good. The reason why everybody is a leader is because you have something that someone else don't have. All right? I may have this product. Hey, you don't have it. You need it. So you have to buy it from me. So that makes me a leader, authority in that field, but you are a follower at that point. But when I need what you have, I've got to go buy it from you. That makes you a leader, an authority in that field, and that makes me a follower to you.
Okay. This generation and age, we are looking for quick wins.
Correct.
Hollywood has glorified all this money. Recently, someone died actually, and they poured champagne a few days ago. I don't know if you saw the story in the press. Someone died, and they poured champagne and money in before they put the body into the grave, the coffin into the grave, and that is the kind of, he was a very flamboyant person, and so now we have a generation of people who look up to Hollywood,
yes,
with all this reality TV and how the superstars live lives, and they think that, if I can just get this one deal, my life will be so
I got you. Now, let me tell you, Hollywood, in case you're listening to me, it's important for me to let you know that Hollywood is a place of hard work. Those people you see shooting movies, doing those things, they work so hard. Think about Madonna. Madonna, you think she sleeps? She worked so hard. Even Michael Jackson, before Michael Jackson died, he was working hard to perfection. Justin Bieber, all these people that you hear, even Kim Kardashian. You know what it means for Kim Kardashian to keep fit, always in the gym, working out. If you think it's a lazy kind of work, you try it. So don't get carried away by Hollywood people. They work hard. I know them. I've been there. I've been going to California most of the time. I see them. They work hard. And for your information, when you're watching the movies that they shoot, just know that they don't have time to watch the movie that they shoot. They are busy shooting another one, so you can buy. That's why they make millions of dollars.
Yeah, they're not just seated at home waiting for money to fall from heaven.
No, they work for it.
But we have this mentality. Some people, you know, we don't really want to work. We want things to fall into our laps. How do we change that mindset?
First of all, if you don't want to work, you are going to suffer the consequences of not working, period. So laziness is, let me tell you something about laziness. Laziness does not resemble God. Laziness does not resemble Satan. So laziness resembles nobody. So if you are lazy, you are not like God, you are not like Satan, and you are nobody. Because Satan is not lazy. God is not lazy. So if you are lazy, there is something about you that means you are nobody. So laziness is not something that you got to tolerate. Stagnation is the enemy of movement, is the enemy of freshness. If you don't move, you will stink. Period.
But how do you get that into people? Because we have people here in Uganda who wake up and will wake up to go to a gambling place, to bet on football clubs in Europe.
Yes.
You have people who wake up to play something like Ludo.
Correct.
You know, able-bodied youth who are doing this.
Yes.
So how do you change that mindset?
First of all, if you don't have vision, you belong to the junkyard. Period. You are in the junkyard. When I say vision means your ability to capture what you can become, your capability, your capacity to become something great. That is what this is all about. So if you are listening to me here in Uganda, remember one thing. Be able to capture what you can do, you possibly do for tomorrow. Your value matters so much.
Okay. We have... this is it may sound strange to you, not to us as Ugandans. We have what is called a jobless brotherhood. Yes. People who get together crying that they're unemployed youth. And someone told me a statistic the other day. I was actually quite shocked. 1 out of every 2 graduates will not get a job.
Yes.
You have studied all these years. Your parents have invested in you, possibly selling pieces of property to educate you. And you leave university and you have no job, you have nowhere to start.
Can I just cut you short a little bit?
Yes.
Do you know that the purpose of education is not actually for you to look for a job, it's to create a job? In one of my classes in the United States, I used to teach them, you are not here to look for jobs, you are here to create jobs. When you graduate from school, you should be thinking about how can I create jobs and employ people. I've been teaching that, and I've been doing that. Now, what do I mean by that? In Nigeria, when I graduated mechanical engineering, there was no job. But what do? I have mechanical engineering with a high level of GPA, but I went to look for people who build houses. I was carrying blocks. I was going to people's houses to teach them arithmetic, to teach them mathematics, to teach them biology, to teach them chemistry.
Is brought to you
with
by
all these things. So that's what I'm talking about. That you have to step out to do the best you can. Don't wait for people. Do what you can to make sure that you are what you should be. You may see the glory here, but there's a story behind this glory. I'm a mover.
I can see the bling bling on your ring. I can see the beautiful watch that you're wearing.
I do.
And you know, people may be thinking that, but for you're lucky. You ended up in the U.S. You had a mechanical degree. You were educated. Maybe you had a godfather somewhere who opened a door for you to get that visa. And
now, can I explain that?
Yes.
Because it's important for people to hear that.
Yes.
Now, I told you that behind every story there is glory, right?
Yes.
Now, make sure you take care of your weaknesses. Your weaknesses is so important. What does that mean? If you don't take care of your weaknesses now, you are going to be devoted in life. Now, look at it. Let me give you a story of how I got a visa, for example, now. Okay? Back home in Nigeria then, as a young child, I wrote 2 books in mathematics. So when I went to U.S. Embassy, they saw the 2 books in mathematics. They said, wow, we need you in the U.S. We need you. If you have what America needs, you will get to America.
Even with Donald Trump.
America visa is the easiest visa to get. But they must have a reason why they will give you a visa. That is why America is unique. When they saw the 2 books I wrote in mathematics as a young child, they said, what? America, we need you. Because when you get to America, they need mathematicians. They need people who like numbers and figures. That's how I got it, without much questions.
So someone may ask, why are you based in America?
Yes.
Africa needs you. Why don't you come back
Yes.
and change Africa?
There's a reason I went to America, and I'm beginning to see. That's why I'm back now. I am back. I've been traveling to different countries, teaching them that the potential trapped in us in Africa is much more powerful than the problem that confronts us. We are not here to mourn our yesterday. We're not here to be begging the world to help us. We are not beggars. We should be lions. Lions are not beggars. Beggars are not lions. Have you ever seen a lion begging vulture for food? So why should we, Africa, who are lions, why should we beg for food? I want you listening to me to get out of your comfort zone. This is Dr. Derrick, the voice against
your
stagnation.
Camera is number 2, I believe. Yeah.
The voice against stagnation, the obstacle against those on their way to an average life. You can't see me sit down. I am moving. I am knocking doors where they don't even invite me. In America, when I was looking for a job, the first teaching job I got at the university, I got it without an advertisement. I polished my resume and went to the house of to the university, and they gave me the job without interview because I moved. If you don't move, you will stink.
Okay. Do Africans have a problem? You say we shouldn't be beggars, but I'm sure for many African countries, our budgets are financed by the Chinese, by the EU, by the World Bank. We are so rich, but this is where we find ourselves. I do not know if you've heard about the Kenya Standard Gauge Railway that was launched yesterday. And one of the things that caught my attention was the fact that in the media they are saying this is the first huge infrastructural project that has happened since independence. And Kenya independence was 1963. Uganda was 1962. You know, it's been 50 years, and we have taken baby steps since the colonialists left. You know, recently when we were celebrating 50 years, someone said, you know what, let's bring the colonialists back because it seems they were doing a better job. So do Africans have a problem?
Yes. The first problem Africans have, especially African leaders, it may surprise you, they don't have value for the people. You may think that it is a loose word. I'm here now. I'm American. They know I am here. They have value for me. Anything that touches me, it touches them. But think about a typical African. Anything that touches them may not touch the leaders. But anything that touches me as an American, even though I migrated from Nigeria, it touches them. So they place so much value on me and in me, and that makes me to believe in myself. So one of the problems we have in Africa here is that the leaders should place premium value on people, whether they are rich, whether they are not rich, whether they belong to a different tribe from you, whether they are not. You have to place premium value on them and in them. Number 2 problem that we have is that the judiciary system is not enforceable. We have laws in Africa. They don't tell me we don't have laws. We have laws. We have laws in Uganda. We have laws in Kenya. We have laws in Nigeria. But some of these laws are not enforceable. We have to enforce these things through the judiciary system. I told them somewhere in one of the African countries where I traveled to, and I told them that, look, it's important for them to understand that in America, one of the problems we have in Africa is that the wages of sin here is death. In America, the wages of sin is not death, it's punishment. That means we're not waiting for you to die and go to heaven and God will punish you. They will punish you right there for the little mistake that you make. That's why we are very cautious. That's why we are very careful. That's why the process is working. Africa, listening to me, the wages of sin should be punishment. You steal people's money, you got to be punished. You do this, that is how it should work. Everybody will not know what to do.
You've talked about wages of sin being death here in Uganda, or well, in Africa.
In Africa.
There's a huge problem. It's very big in Nigeria, I know, and in Uganda it's a big problem. It's a problem of corruption, of embezzlement, fraud, bribery. We have a generation of people growing up knowing that they can pay to pass their exams, they can pay to get a transcript, they can pay to get a job, and it's eating up the moral fabric of our entire society. How can we change that?
We can change it. That's why I'm here in Africa now. We want to change the mentality of people. You see, mentality matters. Your mindset matters. How you think is more important than what you think. How you think is more important than what you think. Our goal is to change the mentality of the people, how they are thinking, how they are processing things. For example, now, if you are corrupt, stealing government money, you don't have value for people. That's one. You have no vision. Because you cannot see tomorrow and steal people's money. If you have value for somebody, you cannot steal their money. That is why our goal here is to teach people the power of value for humanity, also to see how we can enforce the law to a level where people know that stealing means that you have no value for humanity. Stealing means that you have no value for tomorrow. You have no value for the next generation. People become what they keep hearing. We keep thinking into them. We can also keep helping the government to come up with policies, formulate policies and strategies that will streamline processes, okay, that exclude corruption. It's very, very important. Make processes work for people so that there is no need for corruption. For example, in America now, you want to get your transcript. It's your transcript. Do I need anybody to give me my transcript? Just apply for a transcript within a day or two. Your transcript is right there. But here in Africa, somebody was telling me that for him or her to get a transcript, it will take almost five months to 6 months. Why? Transcript belongs to the people. Why should there be a hard difficulty or route to get your transcript? There must be a process. The process in Africa is too cumbersome. Bureaucratic red tape delays. We have to find a way to streamline the process, make it less cumbersome, and also know that, look, people have value. And because they have value, please respect it, reward it, recognize it.
You talk about the judicial system. If I can give you a little bit about what's happening in Uganda, we have judicial officers who are not paid very well. They get little money. They are overwhelmed. There is a case backlog. You have prisons that are also overwhelmed with people. And you're saying we have to change all this. But how? When someone has a simple case and they get thrown into prison for a long, we have chicken thieves who are there possibly, and no one is fighting for them. There's no value. But again, they'll say people are paid little and people don't go to work. A judge won't come, and then the case is adjourned, and it's just like the whole system is just needs to be overhauled.
That is so true. You just mentioned it. Overhauling the entire system, not just judiciary system. All these systems, because when we talk about a country, it comes in different colors and fabrics, right? So we're talking about we ensuring that every system is streamlined. But again, I understand the situation when you say people are not paid. When people are not paid, there's no way they can remain steadfast, they can remain nice and just doing the job without being corrupt. That's the reason why it's important that people understand that the process needs to be streamlined. That's number one. Number two, the people must be rewarded. If you don't reward people, you cannot overcome corruption. So if you are owing the people, find a way to pay them. That's very important.
We're talking to Dr. Derrick Samuels, who is the president of the Derrick Samuels Leadership Institute. As you can tell, he's a very interesting man who says, when you come in contact with him, you just have to change.
Yes.
So you say you teach proven principles
Correct.
of success.
Yes.
So give us some of those proven, because you must have evidence
yes.
that these principles actually work.
Yes.
And someone watching right now,
yes.
whether in their office or at home, will apply this principle and succeed in future.
You see, when I say proven principle, it means that I'm living it. Because I am the voice against stagnation. I believe in success. Because I believe it, I'm behaving it. And because I'm behaving it, I'm becoming it. Because in life, you can only become what you are behaving. You can only behave what you believe. And you can only believe what you behold. So when you see the glory today, okay, what is happening around me, there is a story behind it. Like I said, in the university, those days in Nigeria, when I was doing my mechanical engineering degree, I had no food. There were times for 5 days I had no food. I remember those days when my hair were naturally pulling. I went to the doctor, then at the teaching hospital in the university, and they told me, man, this is something that's going on. You are not eating, you are malnourished. I don't have food. But for me to change that, it was not just prayer to change that, because prayer, fasting, I'm not condemning that is good. But what do? I went to town. I want you to go to town. You stayed so much in your bedroom. Go to town. I went to town. I started looking for who I can teach their children arithmetic. I started looking for who I can teach their children biology. I started looking for people I can teach their children chemistry. I started making money in the university. My life changed. Only you, let me tell you, the future that you desire is in your hand. It's not in the hand of the government. It is not in the hand of your parents. It's not in the hand of yesterday. It's in your hand. Step out of your comfort zone like Dr. Derrick will step out of his comfort zone. Trust me, in the next 5-6 months, you will notice you will come back with results. Because remember, Action is the only thing that differentiates those who are making it from those who are faking it. If you're not taking action, trust me, you are fake.
Well, you don't really mince your words, but let's be a bit practical. There are people out there without jobs. Some maybe have just finished school with a diploma, with a degree. Others have possibly been laid off. And what can they do if they really have no money? Where do they? You mentioned maybe bricklaying.
Yes.
But if you're a lady and you possibly can't carry those blocks on your head, what can you do?
There are many things to do. If you think there is no opportunity here in Uganda, why do you think people are coming from the West? If you think there's no opportunity in Uganda, why are people coming from China? If you think there's no opportunity in Uganda, why are people coming from the East? Because there are opportunities. There are things they are seeing that you are not seeing. You have to see hard work. One of the principles for success for you to be able to see hard work before rewards. So I challenge you if you're listening to me. Because if I am to be here in Uganda, you will not see me in the bedroom, sitting down and mourning my yesterday. You could see me. Maybe I will start farming. Maybe I'm a bricklayer. Maybe I'm going to photography. Whatever it is, let me tell you, if you're listening to me, I'm a professor of business in the universities, in one of the universities in America. The first day of my class, I always ask my students, what do you want to become? You see some of my students telling me they want to be a photographer. But you tell a graduate to become a photographer, he will hiss or she will hiss at you. Some people will say, I want to go into fashion. Some people will tell you, I want to go into carpentry. There are many things to do. Why are we importing woods? Why are we importing furniture from different countries? Can't we go into furniture making? Must it be that we must work in the bank? Must we work on the television station? You can work right where you are. Start something. Even the money you could use to drink is enough for you to start something. Instead of you wearing a wristwatch of a lot of thousands, sell that wristwatch, start that business. Sell that designer shoe, start that business. Sell that designer suit. Start that business. There are something in you that is yearning for stepping out. Step out and enjoy freshness.
Would you encourage people to get loans to start businesses?
Yes or no? But for small businesses, I will tell you, start somewhere. This is the mentality I want to change in Africa. Because in China, most of the manufacturing of businesses you see in China, they are done in their own home, in their backyard, in their coffee shop. In America, I've done so many of my businesses in the coffee shop. If you come to America, you see in the coffee shop, people are with their phone, making calls, telling people what to do in their business in the coffee shop. Africa, we've got to change our mentality. It's not until you get an office in a high-rise estate that you become somebody. Start in your bedroom. Start somewhere. Start on the street. That is how to become entrepreneur. That's what we need in Africa. Let's change that mentality.
Okay. You mentioned something interesting that, we have the Chinese coming, and we do. We actually have them. They're not only in Kampala, they're in all parts of Uganda. But you find that maybe somehow they have a bit of, I don't want to say lack of favor. And this is something that has come up with many investors. They say these foreign investors, when they come, they're given better terms to do business. They're given, some of them, tax exemptions, and yet locals are not given, accorded the same favors.
Yes, because they are bringing a lot of infrastructure and capital. So you should give them incentives, right? Yes, but don't think that you don't have. You do have. As a citizen, you have absolute right to do what you can do within the legal frame system. That is what it means to be a citizen. So, but the government need to give people who are coming from different countries some incentive because they are bringing capitals. Even the U.S. will do it. In the U.S. now, if you have a lot of money, you can come to the U.S. and you have right there, you have part of citizenship because you're coming with money, you're coming with capital, you're coming with opportunity to create jobs. So these people are coming to create jobs. So you need to give them some kind of incentives. But you see people who complain about these people are this, these people are this. There are things you can do for yourself. Trust me, these things that I'm teaching, I am living it out. And I'm begging you, if you're listening to me, stop crying about yesterday. Let's think about tomorrow. Let's start taking steps. This money that you are wasting, I'm not saying don't drink. Of course, I cannot tell you that. But some of this money that you are wasting every day is enough for you to start one little business that can add little shilling to shillings to shillings. And before you know it, you are out there shining.
I do not know if we'll be able to take some few phone calls. I did hear the phone ringing earlier. If we are, then the number will appear on the screen if you have a question for Dr. Derrick Samuels, who is the president of the Derrick Samuels Leadership Institute. And I will ask you right now, you mentioned prayer and fasting.
Yes.
Now, what is the role of faith
Yes.
in should I say, in entrepreneurship?
Yes.
Because you find some people, I don't know if I can say they're being misled, they like sowing.
Yes.
You know, someone will say, you bring 1 million shillings and bring some sand and soil, and you will get an acre of land. I don't know.
My question to you is that, are they getting it? If you are sowing, I'm not saying, I'm not condemning that, but are they getting it? I don't deceive people. I don't deceive people. Yes, the role of faith is very important in personal, in national development. I believe in that. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. But what if you believe in Jesus, you cannot stay in your comfort zone. Jesus never stayed in the comfort zone. Abraham never stayed in the comfort zone. Isaac never stayed in the comfort zone. You read about Isaac, Jacob. Do you know why God said, I am proud to be called God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Because they worked so hard. How do I know? James chapter 2 verse 20 says, faith without work is dead. So if you think that you have faith and you're not stepping out, you are a religious person who is dead already. If you don't step out, you're not like Abraham. Trust me, Abraham worked so hard that heaven recognized him and imputed that work as righteousness. So I encourage you, if you're listening to me, you're a believer, you're not a believer in Christ, trust me, if you want to be like God, you've got to work hard.
We have a caller on the line. Good morning. You're live on Morning at NTV. We have lost that caller, but the number is on your screen if you have a question for Dr. Derrick Samuels as we talk about leadership and entrepreneurship and Africa and how we can move forward. He is considered, he calls himself a voice against stagnation, a surgeon for self-development, and he is, like you've heard him say, contagious with success. Good morning. Good morning. The number is on your screen. Please remember, when you do call, step away from your TV set because there is a little bit of a time delay. So just go ahead and speak when you hear my voice. Good morning.
Good morning at NTV.
Yes, do let us know your name, where you're calling from, and your question or comment for Dr. Samuels.
Oh, I'm Mark calling from Fort Patrol.
Yes.
Oh, I'm very amazed by the motivation of the man.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I really congratulate him upon the motivation.
Yes. Okay, we have lost that caller. Good morning. We have another caller on the line.
Hello?
Hello, please, we can hear you. Please go ahead with your question or comment for Dr. Samuels. Good morning.
This is Paul calling from my head.
Yes.
I want to thank Dr. Samuels for the information. One.
Sorry, can you speak up? I'm not getting you.
I want to thank Dr. Samuels for the information. One.
You want to thank the doctor, okay? Yeah, the line was really unclear. Good morning. We have lost that caller. We are speaking to Dr. Derrick Samuels, the president of the Derrick Samuels Leadership Institute. He is based in the U.S., but he's an Oga, is that correct? From Nigeria.
Yeah, they call Oga. That's boss.
Boss. Boss.
Master.
Master. A big master,
Yeah.
who has clearly worked hard to get to where he is. Good morning. How can people get in touch with you? People are watching and
Yes.
they just want a little bit more of you.
Yes.
Where can people, you have written a couple of books. I have
Yes.
here The Power of Your Tomorrow, A Prescription, Recharged Optimism, The 10 Commandments of Success, How to Scare Failure Away.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
There is something in that book, which is the 10 Commandments of Success. I say there is something in every human being that has potential to scare failure away. You see, failure, if laziness can still locate you, something is wrong with the future that you saw. You cannot see the tomorrow that is bright and then be lazy. It's not possible. There is something in you that when failure sees you, they will run away. Somebody like me, failure see me and they run. Do you know that this year alone, within 60 days, I've written about 400 pages of book on Christianship? Because all over the world, especially Africa, I'll be teaching Christians how to do business. But I sat down, sometimes 15 hours, 18 hours, working it out, working hard. Let me tell you, there's no magic to success. Success is a deliberate act provoked by desperate taking of steps and responsibilities.
That's a new word. I don't know if it will enter the dictionary. Christianeurship.
Yes.
What is that?
Christianeurship is how I teach Christians how to do business, how to grow their business, how to outsmart the wolves. Because over the years, the wolves have eaten Christians enough. Because they are not as wise as serpents. That is what it means.
We're waiting for, is it manna from heaven? We're waiting for miracles.
Yes, a lot of people wait for miracles, but let me tell you, miracles can only come when you work it out. You are not permitted to claim Abraham blessings. You are permitted to work out Abraham blessings. I don't claim Abraham blessings. I work it out.
Okay. So, but how can people get in touch with you? How can people buy your books, for instance?
All my books are on Amazon. And one of the reasons I came to Uganda is to look for printers from here so that they can print for me to serve East Africa. That's one. But you want to get in touch with me, info@drderrick.org, which is INFO, information, like information, info@drderrick.org, info@drderrick.org. If you send me an email, I know my secretary will forward that to me, and I will reply you in due time. I like to respond to people's email.
Where do you see the future of Africa? Obviously, you're optimistic,
yes,
but please, yeah.
The future of Africa is in the hand of Africa. The future of Africa is in the value we place on humanity. If we respect people in Africa, we have a future. Until the leaders in Africa begin to have deep respect. When I say deep respect, it means that you cannot steal their money. It means that if you are giving money to construct a road, you actually do it. That is called a value. It means that if you are giving money to put water in place, you are actually doing it. Until we start having value for ourselves, we'll be busy looking for what we don't need.
Some aspect I've heard of business for people out there who are just, many people want to leave the corporate world or to leave their jobs and to head into a business, to become, self-employed, to become entrepreneurs. But people get stuck at a stage which we call analysis paralysis. You keep on analyzing, and you never actually do it. Would you encourage people to leave formal employment for entrepreneurship?
Yes or no. If your vision is compelling enough for you to leave, leave. But if you think you can balance it, good. But one thing I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, you must be a risk taker. If you're not willing to take risk, you better remain right there working 8 to 5.
8 to 5. Okay, and as we conclude this, what would your final message be to the people who are watching this morning?
My final message to you is this. Don't have time to mourn yesterday. Yesterday is past. Always focus on tomorrow. 2, take steps. Step taking will qualify you for the next level in life. Take steps. Don't die wishing. Start working. That's number 2. Number 3, remember, and it's very, very important, that you have what it takes to scare failure away. Everybody. And trust me, last but not the least, poverty is not genetic. Poverty is not genetic. You were not born to be poor, except you make yourself poor. There's no gene for poverty. But the mindset got to be changed. Change that mindset. Start working hard. Get in touch with people like us. Trust me, you can't hang around us and remain the same. It's not possible. You will smell good working with us.
Contagious with success, a surgeon for self-development, a voice of against stagnation.
And the obstacle against those on their way to an average life. I'm your obstacle.
My goodness, I need to tweet that. An obstacle
against this on their way to an average life.
An obstacle against those towards an average life. So you who has watched us this morning, just know you are above average. Dr. Derrick Samuels, it's been an honor.
Thank you.
Very much for finding time in your busy schedule
to
appear on the morning show here at NTV.
Thank you,
we do wish you success. And when you come back to establish your businesses and when your books are published, please do let us know.
I sure will.
We'll be happy
to
have
you. So much.
Well, Morning at NTV has come to the end. Farida Nakazwe is up next with Mwasuze Mutia. Indeed, go out and be blessed and work hard, as he said. Good day.